Hi everyone, I'm Vicky and welcome to this month's Doughnut Club. Today we're going to be learning how to make salted caramel. The classic donut at Bread. It's one of our favorites here and we were doing this for about 10 years now, so it's quite popular. So you're going to be learning about how to make the caramel first, then we're going to go through the creme pad, then we're going to add some double cream in there, and we're going to be teaching you how to pipe them. Well, I think you know how to eat them, so let's start baking. Salted caramel is a bit simple to make. You don't need many ingredients. We're going to be working with different type of sugars, a bit of custard sugar for the caramel, then dark and light brown sugar to help us with the color of that caramel. Then we need some milk, egg yolks and a bit of flour. So please prepare all your ingredients because we are ready to start. Now, for the salted caramel, the first thing that we need to make is our caramel. For that, we are going to use just custard sugar and a small pan. So basically, I'm going just to put all my custard sugar in there. We're going to be making a dry caramel. That means only sugar in the pan. We are not going to add any liquid at the moment. So I have all my sugar in there, custard sugar, on the heat. Now, I'm going to put this on a medium heat, but please don't rush the process. Don't put it too high because you can burn that caramel. The process is going to take about 5 to 10 minutes. So you can stay close to the hob and turn around the sugar in the meantime, but please don't stir it, don't touch it. So after 10 minutes, we are going to move on to the rest of the recipe. So my caramel is done. Can you see? Nice dark color, nutty, all the sugar is completely dissolved, perfect. At this point, I'm going to add all the milk in one go on top of the caramel, and I'm going to put my pan back on the heat, low heat, until all that caramel is combined with the milk. We're going to keep stirring the milk and the caramel every 30 seconds, so we make sure it's not stuck underneath. And once it's ready, we are going to move on to our egg yolks, sugar and flour mixture. So, the caramel is fully combined with the milk, so we are ready now to move on to the next stage. I'm going to switch off my induction and I'm going to keep the pot out from the heat. And in the meantime, we're going to be working with the egg yolks, more sugar and some flour. So I have all my ingredients measured and I'm going to need a bowl and a whisk. And I'm going to start with the egg yolks. Once you have the yolks, I'm going to add some light brown sugar and dark brown sugar. Now, don't use all the dark brown sugar that you have in the recipe. Try to keep about 10 grams for later. I have both sugars now and I'm going to add the plain flour. And I'm ready to start mixing all together. This process needs to be always done by hand. You don't need to incorporate too much air at this point. If not, the texture of the salted caramel filling is going to be a bit different. So holding this whisk, I'm going to start mixing all my ingredients together. And can we see already a nice rich color? I'm going to keep doing this until all the sugar is completely dissolved. Ready. Now, I have my milk with the caramel in one side, I have the egg yolks and the sugar in the other side. The idea is to combine these two things together. Because your milk is still quite warm, if you go quickly in one go on top of the milk with all the egg yolks, probably that milk is going to cook your yolks and you're going to end up with some scrambled eggs. We don't want that, so we're going to increase the temperature of the eggs slowly, slowly. I'm going to use both hands now, and I'm going to put a little bit of my milk with the caramel in my bowl, and I'm going to keep whisking. Once it's all incorporated, I'm ready to add another splash. And another splash. And if you put your hands on the side of the bowl and you can notice the mixture is getting warm, that's fine. You can just go with the rest in one go. Beautiful. This looks great, but we are missing one extra step. This needs to set. So for that reason, I'm going to send everything back in my saucepan. On the heat now, medium heat, and I'm going to keep whisking during all time. This process is going to take about 5 minutes. What we want is to have a nice set cream. So basically whisk all the time, constantly, non-stopping, until you have something looking more like a bechamel sauce. Nice, thick, and some bubbles appearing from the bottom of the pan. So everything back in the heat, medium heat, for about 5 to 10 minutes, whisk non-stop. Perfect, so out of the heat, and can we see all those bubbles? That's it, ready to go. I'm going to take my whisk out, and for the next step, this needs to cool down. So I'm going to reuse the same bowl that I used before for the mix. And if you want to dissolve any extra lumps that you have in the salted caramel, we can just use a sieve. So I'm going to place the sieve on top of the bowl, and I'm going to put everything on top. And now, a bit of patience, but it's worth it. I'm going to keep stirring inside the sieve, and all the salted caramel free of lumps is going to be in my bowl. The smell is fantastic. Now, once you have all that salted caramel cream in the bowl, make sure you clean underneath. I'm going to add the last ingredient, some flaky sea salt. This is optional, but I think it's going to help you a lot with the flavor of the salted caramel. So this is about a generous 2 pinches of flaky sea salt. And like this, I'm going to go for a quick mix. And it's ready. Now, before cool down, this needs to be covered with something plastic, ideally a piece of cling film. So I'm going just to cover my bowl with cling film, or you can just use parchment paper. We're going to leave it on the table for about 15 minutes and then goes straight in the fridge. Once it's completely cooled down, we are ready to move on to the next stage, which is adding some whipped double cream with sugar and mix both things together. So the final result is much fluffy, soft, and easy to eat. I'm going to cover this, and I will see you in about half an hour. That's the time that it's going to take to cool down, and then we're going to move on to the next stage. So my salted caramel crumpet is completely cooled down, so we are ready now to move on to the next step. The next step is going to be adding some double cream and more sugar in that. Now, the reason because we add double cream is because the salted caramel is delicious as it is, but it's quite stiff. So to improve the texture inside our donuts, we want something light and fluffy. So I have a bowl, I have some double cream, and do you remember that when we did the salted caramel crumpet, we didn't use all the dark brown sugar, so I'm just keeping that extra dark brown sugar for our whipped cream. I have here dark brown sugar, and I'm going to add the double cream. And then I'm going to whisk by hand until I have something nice and stiff. Perfect. That's what we want. Great. Now I'm going to keep this on the side, and before mixing both things, the double cream and my salted caramel creme pad, I'm going to loosen a little bit the creme pad because it's quite firm. So using a spatula, let me just break down this salted caramel creme. Looks really nice. And now I'm going to mix both things. So all my cream and the dark brown sugar goes inside my salted caramel creme pad. And now gently I'm going to fold over all the cream through my creme. Beautiful. Now you have two options. You can just keep doing this until you have a nice even color, or maybe we can just do a couple of more foldings and keep some white ribbons around. That's going to give you an extra color in your final donut. So for example, when you pipe, the peak is going to look a bit brown, a bit white, something in between, and I kind of like that, so probably I will keep it as it is now. So we can see still some ribbons of cream, and trust me, the final touch is perfect. Okay, now once you have all mixed, I'm going to grab a piping bag and maybe a tiny jug that's going to help me to keep the piping bag in position. So piping bag, disposable, I think is always better. Let's just place this inside. Good. Piping bag, my salted caramel cream ready to go, and I'm going inside the piping bag. Make sure you scrape absolutely everything. Okay, I'm going to take the piping bag out, lift, and now hold the piping bag nice and tight from the side, and we're going to spin a couple of times so we make sure that all that cream reaches the bottom of the piping bag. And now I'm going to do a bit of pressure just to release all the air that we have trapped, and then you can twist the top. Let's make a knot. And here we have salted caramel creme patisserie. This can stay very good in the fridge for about 3 days, no more than that. You have some double cream in there, so please try to use it straight away. But if you're not going to use it today, in the fridge, 3 days, it should be fine. So I have 5 beautiful bread ahead donuts and my salted caramel cream ready to pipe. Before start piping, we need to make some space inside the donut to fit all that filling. So you can just use a butter knife or maybe a scissor, it's up to you. I'm going to show you both. So I'm going to hold my knife, and the idea is just to go on top of the white band. We are going through halfway, don't go all the way down. If not, when you eat the donut, you're going to have all the salted caramel in your shoes. So just try to go halfway, and then we can turn the knife a little bit so we can make some space for the filling. I'm going to repeat the process with all of them. Another one. And another one. Great, so once you finish with the holes in there, I'm going to take my piping bag and let's just make a cut about 2 centimeters from the end. I think should be okay. And now I'm going to hold with one hand the top of the piping bag and with the other hand the middle, so I have more control on the filling. So just place the piping bag inside the hole, and once you have the piping bag in, from the hand who is on top, you are going to start making some pressure, and slowly, slowly you are going to move your arm up. Once you reach the top, you stop there and then move on to the next one. Stop. Well, so I get too excited and I put too much. So let me just take a bit of extra. So it's going to be easier to do the final touch. Perfect. Now to finish our donuts, hold the piping bag from the top and now keep the piping bag 1 centimeter away and then just press. Don't move your hand, just press. And once you decide you have enough cream, you stop and you lift. Moving forward with the next one. The next one. So as you can see, we have a lot of leftover salted caramel creme pad. We're going to be using these for our next recipe. It's going to be a nice start with some sweet pastry, salted caramel creme pad and a toasted walnuts on top. So you can check that video on our YouTube channel. Right, so I have my donuts ready. Usually at Bread Ahead, we like to put some honeycomb on top so we have that crunchy taste when you bite the donut. But today I'm going to add some flaky sea salt on top. I think really helps to improve the flavor of our salted caramel creme pad. So here I have some flaky sea salt and I'm going to sprinkle just a tiny bit on top. And I think the contrast of the sweet of the creme pad plus the salt is perfect. Right everyone, so 5 beautiful donuts in front of me with a nice salted creme pad and a bit of flaky sea salt on top. So I really hope you enjoy the class and please join us for our next month. We're going to be learning a new different flavor every single month of our donuts. So make sure you subscribe if you don't want to miss it. Right, perks of the job, guys. I'm going to try some. Ciao.